Hello and welcome to Longship Gaming. Today we'll be playing a game of Marvel Champions, Gamora versus Nebula. We're playing an aggression deck with a splash of protection here. The point of the deck overall is low cost cards, but a lot of high damage. And this is to leverage off Gamora's ability to do 1 point of damage or to thwart for one off of either attack cards or thwart cards. So we have, for our aggression allies, Bug, Brawn, Spider-Girl, Marvel Boy. We've got Martial Prowess to pay for those attack events and combat training. 2, Power of Aggression. And then, because we want to keep stunning Nebula as much as possible to mitigate her attacks, 3 copies of Dropkick. 2, Clobber. And 3, Press the Advantage. For a protection splash, because she allows us to do that, 3 copies of Tackle. For our basic cards, we have Blade, 2 copies of Hit and Run, and 1 each of Strength, Genius, and Energy. So we'll get it shuffled up and get ready to go. We'll be right back. We are shuffled up and ready to go. So we have Nebula on 17 health at stage 2 because we're playing on expert. She has a scheme of 2 and attack of 2. The first technique attachment each player reveals each round gains surge. Force interrupt. When Nebula initiates an activation against you, resolve the special ability on each technique attachment in play. Then choose and discard one of those attachments. She starts play with the Power Stone, which gives her +1 scheme and +1 attack. And if I do 3 damage to her, or she does 3 damage to me, then we swap ownership of the stone. Art of Evasion starts out with 2 threat on it, and part of its setup is that we look at the top 2 cards of the encounter deck to see whether or not they are techniques and put those in play if they are. Luckily in this case they were not. And Nebula's Ship. Forced interrupt. When the villain phase begins, place 1 evasion counter here. Shoot the thrusters. First player action, exhaust the Milano and spend up to 2 resources of any type. Remove 1 evasion counter from here for each resource spent this way. And as we can see on the Art of Evasion, it gains threat for the number of evasion counters on her ship. So we need to keep this under control. So outside of the first turn, the Milano is almost always going to be used to get the evasion counters off of this. We do not want this to flip with a lot of evasion counters on the ship. So we do start with the Milano in play, which gives us a wildcard resource. And Gamora starts at 10. And our initial draw is 6 cards. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have Energy, Cross Counter, Forward Momentum, Set the Pace, Nebula, and Tackle. So we know we don't really need cross counter at the moment. For momentum, there's not enough threat to worry about that. We are going to keep Set the Pace though. Nebula, of course, would only provide us the 1 wildcard resource, so we're not going to use her. Tackle, I think we definitely want, so that we can stun Nebula right off the bat and then take possession of the Power Stone. So I think since you're going to be stunned, we're going to get rid of cross counter. For our mulligan, 1, 2, 3. So we get another cross counter, Martial Prowess, and Keen Instinct. So we got some resource generators there. Okay. So on Gamora's alter ego side, under Outlaw, she has an action. Look at the top card of your deck. If that card is an attack or thwart event, draw it. Limit once per round. So let's see if it's an event. It is not. But we know that we have another card resource coming up. So let's then make things very cheap for us in the future. So we are going to play out Martial prowess. Then we are going to use cross counter for keen instincts. So now we can generate a strength resource, a wildcard resource, and we have another wildcard resource. So we are at first going to now flip over to Gamora. We're going to set the pace, which is thwart one threat from a scheme, which is going to trigger her precision ability. In response, when you play a thwart event, deal 1 damage to an enemy. So do 1 damage to Nebula. And then we're going to use all of our free resources, including, of course, what we need here is our strength resource. So we are going to stun and do 3 damage. So she is stunned. We do 3 damage. Take possession of the Power Stone. And then we are going to attack with Gamora to do 3 more damage. So not a bad start, especially since we have these fantastic resource cards out already. Draw back up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keen Instincts, Drop Kick, Combat Training, Decisive Blow, and Spider-Girl. All very good. Okay. On Nebula's turn, she's going to get an evasion counter. She's going to put 1 threat. Oh, actually we forgot last turn. Because we played an attack, there was none left on Art of Evasion. So only 1 goes on. She is stunned, so she cannot attack. And so we have our encounter card. Unfulfilled Destiny. You may flip to alter ego form, exhaust alter ego, remove Unfulfilled Destiny from the game. You know what? That's not so bad to get it out of the way very early. So goodbye, Unfulfilled Destiny. Alright, so now it's back to us. Well, now we can use Gamora's ability to look at the top card to see if it's an event. It is not. It is the conditioning room. So, we definitely want to be able to stun Nebula once more. Let's... I think we really want to be able to play out Keen Instincts to get more resources. Don't think we need combat training at the moment. I think what we want to do here is to, for sure, drop kick. So we're going to do all of these to generate the drop kick. And since we're using only strength resources, we're going to do 4 damage. Whoops. And drop kicks allows us to draw a card. So now we have Conditioning Room, which we don't really need right now. So we're going to exhaust the Milano. Oh, sorry, that was an attack card. So of course, Art of Evasion, due to precision. Loses that. We're going to exhaust the Milano and spend Conditioning Room. Well, she is stunned again. Don't think we need Spider-Girl out. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's spend the 1 resource then to get rid of the evasion counter. Decisive Blow to play out Conditioning Room. Just to have the engine out in case we need it. Or we get flipped back down again. Alright. Readying everything up. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So make sure that I Did the damage? Yes, I did. Okay. Alright, so we have Marvel Boy, Decisive Blow, Power of Aggression, Acrobatic Move, and Gamora's Sword. Okay, so no stuns this turn, so have to be wary of that. Evasion. And one threat. Gamora is stunned. Gamora's a counter card, so she gets Wide Stance. And that, of course, is going to Surge, because that's the first technique. And a Pirate Lackey, which has Quick Strike. And after this minion attacks and damages you, remove the top card of your deck from the game. So we don't want that to happen, so we're going to defend against that. Okay, back to our turn again. Well, we definitely do not want that Pirate Lackey sticking around. We have no way to stun this turn. So let's spend our 2 aggression on Marvel Boy. Let's spend we want to save Decisive Blow, I think. So we're going to Acrobatic Move for 2 points of damage to the Pirate Lackey. That's going to trigger Finesse. Marvel Boy is going to attack and get rid of the Lackey. Maybe we should just do that here. Yeah, no point in wasting it. So we're going to Keen Instincts, both of those for Decisive Blow. So 4 damage to Nebula. So that's going to reduce it by 1 damage. So it's only going to do 3. And I think we'll hold on to Gamora's Sword. And we will use the Milano. Oh, no, it's only for an attack event. So I am going to have to use Gamora's Sword then to get rid of the Evasion Thruster. Okay. Pretty happy with the engine we've got going here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tackle, hit and run, drop kick, tackle, clobber. I see lots of stun in the future. All right, back to Nebula. She's going to attack. I'm going to have Marvel Boy get in the way. So that is going to, it's a boost, cut through an ambition. After this activation ends, attach this card to Nebula and resolve a special ability. Okay, so it's not quite going to trigger yet. However, Wide Stance is going to. So I have to discard 1 card at random from my hand. Oh yeah, Marvel Boy. It's gone. So we're going to lose hit and run, which is not too terrible. All right. And we choose one of these to go away. That's going to be Wide Stance. Now her special on Cutthroat Ambition, which is to place 1 threat on the main scheme, goes off. And her encounter card. Barrel Roll. Incite 1 and Surge. Place 1 evasion counter. This is where it can get explosive. So it surges, and she's going to attack. So I am going to have to defend. She's activating again. It's a base of 2. So that's 3 damage. She gets that back. The special is going to go off, so more threat appears, but Cutthroat Ambition goes away. Alright. Unfortunately, losing that hit and run did hurt us a little bit, but I think we're okay to go for a drop kick here. So we're going to use all of our resources. To drop kick, which draws us a card. And it's Blade. So it's going to do 4 damage, so it's just going to flip her to her 3rd stage. Her hit points go up to 20 on stage 3. That's going to give us back the Power Stone. So she's stunned again. We really want to keep as many of these in hand as possible, but we have to get rid of those thrusters. That's really bad news for us. And of course, we've got thwart issues. Oh, we played an attack card, so one threat comes off. She is stunned. I think we want to hang on to these tackles. Blade can go. Get that off of Nebula's ship. Yeah, I think that's what we want to do this turn. Draw back up. 1, 2, 3. Strength, press the advantage, acrobatic move, tackle. So we have a lot of potential damage this turn if things go our way. Okay. Thruster. Scheme. Cannot attack. Encounter card. Rogue Vessel. Surge. When the villain phase ends, deal 1 damage to the player. First player action, exhaust the millennium, and spend 2 resources of any type and discard this card. Okay. It's not great, but it's not awful. But it does have Surge. Pirate Commander. Which has Quick Strike. Force response after this minion attacks and damages you. Well, we don't want that to happen, so I have to deal with the Pirate Commander. Which is a problem. Well, let's see what we can do about that this turn. We have a lot of resources. Oh yeah, and the villain phase ended, so we took a damage. So, let's see. We definitely want to, I think, take care of both of them to stun them. So let's spend all of our resources here for a tackle. And we're going to tackle and do 3 damage to the Pirate Commander. Then we're going to spend, and that's going to thwart 1. Then we're going to do the same for another tackle to Nebula. Stunning her. Like to get rid of them with press advantage and get a card, but I don't have the resources to do it. I need the Milano to get that off of the evasion counter off, so we're going to have to do that. And back to the top. It'd be quite nice if we could stop having to defend and actually use some of our current strength to start punching Nebula. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Press the advantage. Genius. Hit and run, bug, and press the advantage. Okay. So back to the top. She is stunned. Cannot attack. Stunned. Cannot attack. Combat ready. When revealed, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a technique attachment is discarded. Reveal that card, then resolve its special ability. Okay. Looking for techniques. There's the first one. So special, we're going to take a damage. And of course, it has Surge, Incite 1. It's going to Surge, put an evasion counter. Villain will Scheme. Oof, okay, that's really not good for us. So she's going to Scheme for 4, which is going to flip the Art of Evasion. Place 2 evasion counters on Nebula's ship. For each evasion counter on Nebula's ship, discard the top 2 cards of each player deck and the encounter deck. So discard, 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 discard. Oh, it's 4 in total. Okay. So we're at 3, and then X is equal to the number of evasion counters on Nebula's ship. So it starts out at 3. Alright, well, that was, not gonna lie, that was pretty rough. And then, of course, at the end of the villain phase, take a damage from the rogue vessel. We were doing so well. Let's see what we can do here. All right. I think Nebula's ship is a real danger to us. We need to get rid of the pirate commander, and I think also just have someone to block Nebula. So we're going to play out Bug. Gamora is going to attack the pirate commander. Oh, should have done this the other way around. So let's have Bug do a thwart. And that would have put one on, but then I did the attack, so Bug heals. Let's then spend all 3 of our resources here for hit and run, which is an attack and a thwart. So we're going to get rid of 2 threat. Which is going to do 2 damage and then additional damage because we played a thwart. 1 damage, I should say. That is going to retaliate on us for 1. We're going to have to use our last 2 resources, these press the advantages, to get that off. So, not too terrible. At least we have a blocker now. Things are looking kind of rough here. 1, 2. She's going to get an extra encounter card. This is now going to be a race to see how much damage, hopefully, on the next turn we can put onto Nebula, preferably, of course, stunning her. Make sure it's well shuffled. Get those stuns in hand that we desperately need. 1, 2, 3. Dropkick, forward momentum, Spider Girl, Gamora sword, and tackle. Excellent. Okay. So back to the top. Nebula ship. 3 threat. She's going to attack. We're going to defend with Bug. Bug is going to take 3 and go away. Now we can choose to discard a card permanently to get rid of that technique, which is something I think we want to do. Oh, we take the damage off the special. Goodbye, Marvel Boy. Nice knowing you. Alright, encounter card. Ruthless. Nebula attacks. If damage is dealt by this activation, place 1 evasion counter. Well, we gotta defend. So she's at a +1 right now. And that finished us off. Wow. I think had we gone one more turn, we could have definitely stopped her. But getting Ruthless was very, very bad for us. So, as you can see, Nebula is extraordinarily explosive, and you really need to have luck of the draw and get the cards when you need them, because it's so she can get out of control so quickly. I don't think there's much I would change about this deck. I mean, it's got enough stun to be able to stop her under the best circumstances, but Nebula, in a lot of ways, much like Ronin, of course, is that the kinds of encounter cards that you get can be absolutely vicious and to finish you off when you least expect it. Even though, technically here, I was in a very good position resource-wise. Oh well, so it is. So it goes. We'll have to revisit this one day. Maybe there'll be more cards in the future to bolster Gamora a little bit. But overall, fun game as usual. But unfortunately, Gamora has fallen to her sister, Nebula. So, if you enjoyed the video, please click on the like button, subscribe for more content, leave some comments about what you may have done, or if you have better deck ideas. The deck itself will be listed in the description below. And until next time, happy playing.